Hey guys, are you looking for more clearance out of your Honda Talon 1000R? Well, SuperATV's got you covered with our high clearance trailing arms as well as upper A arms, backed by a lifetime warranty. And today, we're going to show you how to get them installed. So the first thing you'll do is go ahead and remove your rear wheels and tire. We've already done this. So we're going to go up here, we're going to locate our castle nut. We'll remove our cotter pin. We've already removed our cotter pin, so we're going to go ahead and remove the 30mm nut, as well as washer. And we'll go ahead and grab a 14mm. We'll disconnect our brake caliper. And there'll be a fastener right here. We've already removed it. It'll be a little 10mm bolt that'll bolt the brake line onto the knuckle. Like I said, we've already went ahead and removed it. That way we can kind of flip our caliper out of the way, grab a hold of our hub. Just remove it. Then we'll start removing our radius arms. We've already went ahead and loosened our hardware up a little bit here. So make sure that you grab your washers as well as your nuts. Set those aside accordingly. Then we'll come up here to our shock. We've already loosened the hardware on it, so we'll just go ahead and remove the nut off the back side here. Set it aside. Sway bar link. Same thing. Just remove the hardware. Should just be able to grab a hold of the sway bar link. Pull it out. May have to kind of pick up on your trailing arm a little bit. There we go, we'll just kind of flip that up and out of the way for the time being. Then we'll pick up on the trailing arm, remove the bolt out of our shock, let everything kind of hang down. Then we'll take a ratchet strap, tie our shock up out of the way to make it easier on us here. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and grab our radius arms. Pull them off. You can pull the bushings out and slide them onto the knuckle, that way you don't lose them. Just to make sure you don't lose them, you can go ahead and take your nuts, thread them back on there. That way you know where they're at and you don't lose your bushings. So then we'll come down here to our lower ball joint, connects our trailing arm to our knuckle. And you want to go ahead and remove your cotter pin, we've already done this. And then go ahead and remove the nut as well. We've already got it loosened up. So we can just take it the rest of the way off here. You should just pull right away. Trailing arm will sit down. And we'll follow the trailing arm all the way up here to this bolt. There'll be a nut on the bottom side of the bolt here. Just go ahead and remove that nut, wiggle the trailing arm, pull your bolt out, and remove the factory trailing arm. We'll go ahead and sit it right here next to our press because we're going to have to press our ball joint out. So sit it like that. And now we have our upper A arm where it attaches to our knuckle. We'll remove this hardware. And then here you're going to want to find out how you're going to tie your axle up, or you can remove it. Either way is perfectly fine. You could take your ratchet strap or take another ratchet strap and tie it to it, or you can remove it. It's totally up to you. Remove our knuckle. We'll just go ahead, get our axle kind of tied up, grab a hold of our shock, tie it up at the same time. We'll just let that sit right there. That way nothing's going to get in the bind, nothing's going to get tore up. Then we're going to come up here where the upper A arm attaches to the frame. We'll go ahead and remove the nut. We're not going to remove the bolt just yet. Just remove the nut, and then we'll also remove the nut from right here. And then we're gonna wanna grab a 10mm wrench. We're gonna come right in here and we're gonna remove our brake line, remove the feed line off of the block. And you'll have a bolt that's gonna go through there. You'll have a bolt that goes through right here. We've already removed it. So you just remove that bolt. Make sure that you loosen your line up before you remove the bolt. So once that's removed, we're ready to remove our upper A-arm. So we'll go ahead and pop our bolt out. Sheesh. And we'll also go ahead and remove our bolt up here from the front. And we'll just go ahead and remove our A-arm. Just like that. And as you can see, we still have our caliper hanging. We can leave it all attached. That way we don't lose as much brake fluid out of the caliper until we're ready to install our new set. So we're gonna head to the press now. So we're gonna grab our factory trailing arm, which has our factory ball joint in it. And we're gonna go ahead and take our nut, and we're gonna thread it back on there, and we're gonna thread it down. We want it to be just below the head of the stud there. So as you can see, we got all our threads protected. We're not gonna be pushing on the nut, we're gonna be pushing on the stud, but we're not gonna be pushing on any threads. So what we're gonna do is find something that fits around the ball joint here, just like this. I wanna get our press lifted up. There we go. So this will fit down in here, nice and tight, like it should. We'll make sure our ball joint stud is straight as an arrow. We'll slide something in here like that, and then we'll just press our ball joint out. So then we'll just press our ball joint in. So once we have our ball joint pressed in, we'll just inspect it, make sure that's fully seated. Looks like our ball joint is good to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and install our new high clearance SuperATV trailing arm. Just slide it right back into our bushing up here. Grab our bolt. Get it all lined up. And we'll just go ahead and start our nut. So we'll leave our trailing arm hanging, and then we're gonna grab our upper A-arm. So once we have our upper A-arm, we'll go ahead and cut the zip ties off our bushings. We'll go ahead and slide it into position here. Want to make sure we grab our special bolt for back here, one that has the shoulder on it. Get it lined up, slide our bolt through. We'll go ahead and slide our A-arm into position here on this tab, just like that. We'll grab our bolt, slide through the frame. Go ahead and start our nuts on both of our bolts. Then we can go ahead and grab our knuckle. Make sure all our bushings and everything are still in there. Everything's looking good. Make sure you inspect it really good. If there's anything that needs to be replaced on your knuckle, now's the time to do it. And we just go ahead and slide our ball joint through, just like that. We'll grab our castle nut for our ball joint. Get it slid into position. Run our nut up. Like that. Just hand tighten it for now. That way we have it staged up and ready to go. That way we can slide our axle into it. Then we'll go ahead and take our strap loose. Slide our knuckle into position. Just like that. Everything's still loose, obviously, so it's gonna not all fall out and exactly where it needs to be just yet. So once we have that, we'll go ahead and start our nut. Go ahead and get our nut started there. And we'll go ahead and take our nuts off of where our radius arms are gonna go. Pull our bushings off. Slide our bushing back in. Radius arms. I'm gonna make sure that this washer is right here installed. Have to kind of slide them into position here. Have to kind of work them around a little bit. You want to make sure that you reinstall your flat washer. Just like that. And your nut. We'll do the same thing up here for our upper radius arm. Pull our bushings off. Slide our bushings back into our radius arm, our heims. Should slide right into position like that. Install your flat washer, then your nut. We'll go ahead and pick our trailing arm up to where our shock will line up here. Just like that. And then our shock bolt's going to be enclosed into the trailing arm there. You can stick your hand in there and get it started. You can take a 17mm, run it in by hand as well. Then we'll go ahead and reattach our sway bar. Pick up on the trailing arm a little bit. We're down on the sway bar. We'll go ahead and get our nut started here. Then we'll go ahead and grab the hub, get it slid back onto our axle. And we'll grab our castle nut and our flat washer for our axle. Just like that. Get that started. Then we're going to grab the brake line and T-fitting that's provided in the hardware kit. So I like to go ahead and get my T-fitting just kind of started onto my line. Make sure it's got the cap in it. Then we're going to slide it right up through here. As we can see, our feed line that we just previously disconnected is sitting there like that. We'll go ahead and get it started. And once you have it started, we're going to grab the nut and bolt that we provided in the hardware kit. We'll line our T-fitting up with the hole. Slide your bolt through and then go along on the back side. Go ahead and get your nut started. And we'll go ahead and tighten that up. Again, it's just a 10mm and 10mm. Then once we have that tightened up, we'll tighten our fittings in. So once we have our fittings tight, we're going to go ahead and grab our brake caliper. We went ahead and removed it from our old line. So we'll just go ahead and slide it right onto our rotor. Just like this. Get our bolts started in it for now. just to kind of hold it up there for us. Let's put both of them in there. Then we're going to grab our brake line that we just previously installed. And it needs the route down along the upper A-arm like this. So it'll slide behind here. And it'll go underneath of this radius arm. Just like this. So here's our banjo bolt. There's one washer there. Here's our second washer. So then we'll just line it up. So it should look just like this. We'll want to rotate it up to where it sits like this, and then we'll use the brake hardware, or the brake line hardware that's included in the kit to attach the brake line to the upper A-arm. Next, you want to make sure that you have your brake line routed properly up the upper A-arm. All your hardware is fully tightened, and all your cotter pins are installed. So since we've disconnected the brake lines, we're gonna have to bleed the brakes. We have Eric here helping us today. He's gonna be pumping the brakes while we're working the bleeder back here in the back. So now we need to locate the reservoir. That way we can get some brake fluid added to it, because I'm sure it's low. We'll just remove our hood. Sit it down out of the way. Right here, we're gonna have a rubber cap. We'll remove that. We'll remove our lid here. And we'll go ahead and fill this up. Just want to make sure that you use the recommended brake fluid for your machine. You just want to go ahead and completely fill it up to the max fill line. And then we'll just keep having Eric pump the brakes. We'll do it 4 times, and then we're gonna show you what to do. So once we've had Eric pump the brakes, 4 or 5 times, we'll have him hold the brakes down. So we'll tell him, Eric, hold the brakes down. Once he has the brakes down, we'll go ahead and we'll crack our bleeder. You'll just wanna crack it, about half a turn like that, and then tighten it back up. And you wanna continue doing this until you work all of the air out of the lines. Whenever you've got a steady stream of brake fluid coming out of your bleeder on both sides, that's when you know you're good to go. Reinstall your wheel and tire, and then repeat all of these steps for the opposite side, and that's how super quick and easy it is to install SuperATV's heavy-duty trailing arms and upper A arms. For more information on these products, or any of SuperATV's great products, feel free to give us a call at 855-743-3427, or check us out online at superatv.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.